in this episode with CC.
Thank you, sir. So lately, our church faced a very important event that affected a lot of people. Sir Arsenios Wadie, who was serving in Alexandria and really doing a trip with the youth meeting by the beach. Unfortunately, by the time he returned back and he had his group of youth to go, who came behind his back with a knife, and he really stabbed them near the carotid artery, which is really the major artery of the neck. Unfortunately, his reverence died on the spot. They took him to a hospital, but of course, he was not saved. This is probably some of his last pictures when he took the youth during the Ramadan Fitar to just have a meeting rather than having it in the church. I am told this is one of his last pictures. Sayyidina, there is a lot of back and forth. People speak without knowing, and people know and they are not saying the right things. And your grace is always very realistic, to the point, and always very fair. What's your take on the occasion of the martyrdom of our father Arsenius?
Definitely, it is a very sad event. Especially, it is done on a day in which we were celebrating the Feast of Annunciation, which means good news, glad tidings. And on that day, Abuna went with his children, spiritual children, to have a spiritual day. And then actually, as you explained, while they were taking their microbus or buses going back home, he was stabbed from behind. And I'm not gonna ask whether it is part of organized terrorism movement or it is an individual event. But I have some question. Is it just normal for a person to go out and carry a knife in his pocket? My second question, as you explained, Dr. Hani, he actually stabbed him in the neck from behind, and he knew where the carotid artery is, and he killed him by one stab. And as a previous physician, I know a regular person doesn't know where he can kill a person, with one step. He has to be trained, has to know where actually the art is. And I don't think it is just by coincidence, just he stepped him in the right place to kill him. Another observation, why he attacked a religious Christian person?
Yes.
Why? Why not any other person? Of course, I don't want any other person to be attacked. But my question, why? Whether he is stable or not stable, mentally stable or not, whether it is individual event or part of big organization, I'm not going to get into these questions. But I think there is a problem of the culture and how the culture actually teach the people about who are the Christian. I have to admit, in the last 8 years, we saw great difference in treating the Christian. I have to admit this.
Yes.
And they treat the clergy with respect and with honor. They treat the Christian with equality. But still, the culture is actually tinged with this hatred towards the Christian, and not everybody, but some people. And we should not live, or we should not be equal. And it was very sad in one of the very famous magazine or newspaper, I'm sorry, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, there was a question about should we give food to the infidel during the day of Ramadan.
Wow.
And yeah, thank God, actually, the magazine in the next day, they took an action. They suspended the person who published this, and they made a formal apology. But if a very famous magazine in Egypt in the 21st century, after we saw 8 years of equality and equal citizenship, did it even by mistake, or a person working in this magazine, but this reflects his mind. This reflects how he perceives us. Yeah. You know, yes, they suspended him, but did the problem end by suspending him? No. So what I'm trying to say, there is a need to change the culture. Change the culture, it may take so many years, but we need to start this journey of changing the culture and changing the mindset of the people who still believe that we are infidel, that our blood is cheap, and it is okay to kill a Christian. And if you kill the Christian, you will not be executed for killing a Christian. You know, this should change.
Yes.
President Sisi is doing a marvelous job in changing the culture, but I think this should spread from him to everybody.
Yes.
To everybody.
Yeah.
And the media has a significant role in changing the culture to the right way.
I think, Sayyidina, Your Grace said it very well, that we all have palpated a major improvement in the way the Copts are being treated. But I was just reading an article that even in kindergarten, there are some teachers are telling the little children, don't let your friend eat with you. He is Copt. Don't play with him. He is this. So if you're telling a 4-year-old boy or a girl, when they become 40, what are they going to do except to hate us? And I was very happy to hear some of the good news agents when they say, I'm amazed at the wife of Abuna Arsanios because she doesn't have any hate. So it's almost contradicting, Sayyidina, that the children are learning to hate when they are children, and there is no counteracting education in any phase. So the college, the schools, everyone is learning that we are infidels. So how do you change that?
Media number one, actually should change love, through the talk shows, through the religious episodes, through the movies and musalsalat, through all of these, actually media can change the culture. Media can change the culture. Number two, actually, and here actually, I like to thank President Sisi for the second time. For many times he spoke about change the religious preaching in mosques and in churches to be addressing how to love one another.
Yes.
And in Christianity, the Lord Jesus Christ taught us love your enemies.
Right.
And we all the Egyptians saw how the families of the martyrs reacted to when the 21 martyrs of Libya were martyred, when Abu Arsenius, when other people, Abu Ur'as, Nagi Hammadi, Awlad To, in all these events, they saw how the Christian reacted. In the same way, actually, everyone in Egypt should actually speak the language of love, not the language of hate. So, number three, I think there has to be strict punishment and discipline to anyone who violates this. Strict punishment and discipline, so there has to be some consequences, so the people actually will know, if I violate the law of love, the law of equal citizenship, actually I will be held accountable.
I mean, it's amazing how the president, we are very blessed to have him, and he's always calling for equal citizenship, and he's asking the sheikhs to have a more moderate way of speaking. And I'm hoping and praying, but it's one of the things that really bother us so much, why the clergyman, and why always a psychotic man? Why every time we get a killing, we find he's a priest or a bishop, God forbid, or we find somebody saying, oh, he is crazy, that's why he did it. What do you say about that, Sayyid?
If I learned how to hate Christian, then actually I will hate their leaders.
Yeah.
And if I kill a clergyman, then actually I am killing the heads of the Christian, hoping that Christianity will disappear.
Yeah.
And that is in their mind. And I think in their theology, when they do this, they actually get closer to God. And the higher the rank, the better the place he will get in Jannah.
Yes.
And I think about psychotic or mentally unstable, that's actually like a covering up or a way actually not to hold the person accountable. But as far as I know, all the official documents from the prosecutor, as far as I know, none mentioned that he is mentally unstable or psychotic. I think some media tried to publish this, some newspaper, or on the social media. But as far as I know, the official statement from the prosecutor did not mention this.
And I wonder if you agree, Sayyidina, there is also a major change in the way the police and similar to FBI there in Egypt are doing, because really there is an immediate arrest, immediate interrogation, some sort of transparency is happening, which I'm not used to in the past, which I'm very pleased to see.
Definitely, yeah. I will be unfair if I say there is no improvement in the last 8 years. And when I say last 8 years, since President Sisi, because I think he started at 2014. But still, there are some residual issues.
Yes.
And the residual issues, it's like if you cut a tree, but the root's still there, it can grow again.
Yeah.
So we need actually to deal with this residuals, in order to spread the law of love and the law of equal citizenship.
Yes.
I want everyone to walk in the street with peace in his heart, that nothing actually, or no one gonna stab him from his back. Yeah. I heard a story, but I did not verify it. Just I heard a story that in order to stab Abu Arsenius from the back, somebody came from the front asking for donation, or
right.
And Abuna was giving him money. So Abuna was doing an act of charity, act of love. And while he is doing an act of love, somebody is stabbing him from the back. And I don't know whether these two persons are connected with each other or not. Is this done just to distract him so he will be stabbed in the back? It will be very sad if these two persons were connected with each other. I think, again, the culture should change. The culture should change to be culture of love, culture of equality, culture of equal citizenship for everyone.
Yeah. Sayyidina, there is a question that came on the forum asking, what is the church stance or responsibility towards the wrong theological ideas that unfortunately our fellow brothers, the Muslims, are learning wrongly about us? For example, they may think we drink alcohol, or we are corrupt in one way, or maybe we are worshiping three gods. There is a role the church needs to play. We know that the mosques and Azhar need to play a major role from young until the old to reteach and almost change the mindset, as your grace have already explained. But what about us? Is there anything we can do to help our fellow brothers and sisters to learn better about us?
Number one, if I want to learn about, for example, Australia, I will go to Australia and learn from them.
Yes.
I'm not going to go to Canada and ask them to teach me about Australia. So in the same way, if I am getting the information about Christianity from non-Christian, most probably these actually information will be wrong.
Correct.
Especially if I have a hidden agenda to charge you against Christian, to make you hate the Christian. So I will give you some information that will make you angry. And I tell them, they are infidel. They worship three gods, And I hope that actually one day in our schools, they can ask a clergyman or a Christian teacher to go to a classroom. And then the students, they can ask all their questions openly.
That's a great idea.
And they can answer them and explain them. It's not preaching. It's not evangelism. It is not because maybe some people will say, Bishop Youssef wants to evangelize and to preach. No, it is mutual understanding, to understand each other better. When we understand each other better, this will help us to love one another.
Yes.
Here in America, because it is a multicultural society, that's why in school they, teach people about Mexican, teach people about Egyptian, teach people about different culture, so we can accept one another and we can understand one another. And I hope this will be taken in the right perspective. You reminded me, I don't know, in early 70s, His Holiness Pope Shenouda of the thrice blessed memory, in the presence of President Sadat, he made a proposal that why we don't publish books, about love, about gentleness, about kindness, about calmness by Sheikh Al-Azhar and the Pope, both of them.
Yes.
And these books, when the student read it and study it, they will say, wow, we can see Sheikh Al-Azhar and Pope Shenouda together, writing a book about these virtues. But unfortunately, I think after a few days, they said Pope Shenouda want to evangelize and to preach and to convert people. No, it's not our goal. That's not our hidden agenda.
Yes.
The purpose of this, how to love one another, how to understand each other better. how can I understand about Islam if I don't ask them? And they teach me about the religion, not to convert me. And how they understand about us unless they ask us. And actually, we teach them about our religion. So if there is any wrong perceptions about us, this actually will be clear.
Correct. Yeah. Another question is, Sayyidina, why Father Arsanios Wadie specifically, from the world point of view and from a spiritual point of view? That's how it's written. I'm not sure, Sayyidina. I'm not sure I understand the question very well, but I wonder if
I don't want to go about rumors and speak about rumors unless if something is verified, I will mention it. But there are some rumors. He got some threats before because he built the church. So I'm not going to spread. I don't know the truth. I don't know the truth, whether these are rumors or facts, but I think, as I said, with some people who hate the Christian and consider them as infidel, that's why they are targeting Christian and specifically the clergyman. So I think that's the reason why Abuna Arsenius, but why Abuna Arsenius specifically, I don't have enough facts to actually answer this question.
Sayyidina, there is a question about would he be called a martyr and what is the process of canonization in these cases? What do you think is it?
The word martyr means witness. In Greek, martyria means witness. So there are actually different level of witnesses. We can witness by word, we can witness by action, etc., etc. And a person to be called martyr, he should die for the name of Christ. So let's ask the question, did he die for the name of Christ? Yes, he did. He was killed for not any reason except for a Christian.
Sure.
That's the reason why he was killed. And did he witness to God and to Christ by his blood? Yes, he witnessed. Many people actually, their faith is strengthened to see how a priest actually offered himself as a sacrifice of love. So definitely, he is a martyr. About canonization, martyrs don't need canonization. Martyrs, once they shed their blood for the name of Christ, they are canonized as martyrs.
Yeah. Sayyidina, a strange question that came. Is it true your grace was planning on having Abuna Arsenius pray Holy Week in the diocese, in your diocese?
Yes, that's true. And we need help in one of the churches in the diocese. And actually, when we contacted the secretary of His Holiness Pope Tawadros, they assigned Abuna Arsanios Wadie to come and pray the Holy Week. And actually, he was planning to arrive this Thursday, so he can start from the last Friday of the Holy Great Fast and stay with us until the Feast of Resurrection.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. But your grace do not know him personally.
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately.
Say
but I heard from people who know him personally very, very positive things about his gentleness, his manners, his spirituality, many things actually.
Yes, I mean, the way everyone speaks about him really captures everyone's heart, and really we feel like we gained another martyr. I'm told that this picture In the back is also Abuna Pshoy Kamel, who also went to heaven before Abuna Arsenius, who is serving here. This is his Tasoni. This is his last trips. And this is when people are taking his blessing. Sayyidina, I hope you don't mind if I move to a different topic. Unfortunately, we heard today of a very, very sad news. The woman in the left is the same woman on the right, for those who don't know. Her name is Mariam Waheeb, a very, very loving woman who just baptized her little daughter. She has a beautiful family, as you can see, and a great smile. Strangely, she appeared on the right here, quoting or almost reading a statement that by her own volition or her own will, she became Muslim, and she is asking everybody to protect her from the Christians. And she's basically saying, I don't want anyone to find me. I'm in a very good place. Very disturbing. A lot of Egyptians, I don't want to say even Copts, because I think a lot of good Muslims are also troubled by this for many, many reasons. There was any good reason for her to leave, according to her husband, who came in a statement saying that she prepared the food, she ironed the clothes for her children, she took care of the homework of her kids, and they were planning to celebrate Easter together. And all of this happened, and all of a sudden she disappeared. Now it's almost, I think, a week. This is her husband and her 2 sons, and the whole church, of course, in Beni Suef is praying very, very fervently for her. This is an Egyptian statement written by her husband, who basically is holding his faith that God will return her back and want her regardless of what happened to her and whatever harm. And he's 100% sure this is a major, like this was done against her will, and maybe threats against someone, maybe her other children. She disappeared with her children, with her little child who was recently baptized. Sayyidina, I'm sure you are disturbed like all the Copts, and this wasn't planned when I asked Your Grace to have this meeting, but I hope Your Grace can help us through this tragedy to understand even what's going on.
I don't know the family, but I know a priest who was from Beni Suef and now is serving with us in the diocese. And he knows the family very well. And he spoke about the family, how they are very faithful, very loving to God, very active as servants in the church, both the husband and the wife. First, before I make a comment about this case in particular, I want to assure everyone who is listening to me that Christianity respects the free will of the people. When the Lord Jesus Christ went to visit 2 cities of Samaria, and they closed the doors, the Lord did not force them. And he went actually to other cities. And when John and James said to the Lord, should we ask God to send the fire to burn this city? The Lord said, no, I don't know from which spirit you are. And he told the disciples in the commission, if you go to a city and they rejected you, just wipe off the dust from your feet and leave them. Why I'm trying to say this? If anyone, by his own will and by his own free will, choose, we will respect this. We will not force him. Maybe we'll advise him. We will ask him definitely about whether he made the decision and understands the consequences of the decision? Did he understand the economy of salvation? But definitely, we will not force anyone to come back unless if he wants to come back. Just I want to say this introduction to be clear. But as for the case of Mariam, I have some questions. The first question, why it took 1 week from her disappearance until the video? If she was planning to run away on that day, and already she knows where she is going, and she's going to be Muslim, she doesn't have to stay 1 week. She should have made this video on the same day, next day, not 1 week. So why 1 week?
Okay.
My second question, when did she study Islam well to believe in it?
Be convinced, yes.
Yes. Did they find in her house Islamic books? Did they find on her computers Islamic article? So did she study Islam well enough to convert or not? A person who is very active in the church, and one of the picture carrying her baby baptized after baptism. So she believes in the sacrament of the church. So when did she study Islam to make a decision like this? That's my second question. My third question, why she is hiding? She knows very well that in Christianity we will not force anyone to return back. Yes, we may advise her, and actually the law gives the person the right to be advised before his conversion. Did she take this opportunity? Did they call any priest to meet her and to advise her or not? So why she is hiding? Since when Christian will attack people who convert to Islam? She is saying in the video, I want to be protected by the police. I want to know, does she really scared whether her family or her husband gonna kill her? I don't think so. I don't think so. So why we don't know where she is and with whom she is living and where did she go? Where did she spend these 8 days or 1 week? You know, why? And my first question is, what is the situation of her daughter? As far as I know, in Egypt, the children follow the father. So the daughter should return to her father.
Yes.
The children follow the father's religion. So if she chooses this by her own free will, then actually the child should go to her father. If she chooses by her own free will. My fifth question, I know that Islam preaching and teaching honoring the parents, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Then actually, if she chooses to be Muslim by her own free will, and if she wants to be a good Muslim, she should honor her parents according to the teaching of Islam. And part of honoring her parents, she should contact them. She should talk to them. She should actually send to them where she is, and she allow them to see her and to be comforted by seeing her. And the last question, I want even a non-Christian psychiatrist or a counselor who is fair and unbiased. I want him to look at the video and at her picture before and after. And I want his psychological analysis. By the way, I made studies in counseling, so I know what I'm talking about. So I want a counselor or a psychiatrist look at those two pictures and look at the video and to analyze whether this is a person who made this decision by her own free will, or she was forced to do this. And I trust a non-biased, unchristian counselor. So after I mentioned these 6 questions, I raise my voice here to the authorities in Egypt. And I ask them to do a fair and unbiased investigation about these questions or any more questions that may be developed, and to answer them clearly to us. So if that's her own choice, if that's her own decision, let it be. But if she is forced to make this decision, I trust in the justice and in the law in Egypt. She should actually return back to Christianity.
Yes. Thank you, Sayyidina. That's a very well analyzed, almost investigative reporting, like what news anchors should do. If I may add a little bit, one thing, I was wondering how come she never asked for her other 2 sons. I can't imagine a mother in any world, if she is pleading for anything, she only pleaded, don't touch me. Don't hurt me. But she never said, I want to see my sons. And I can't imagine a mom, regardless of her convictions of any religion. I have so many excellent Muslims, friends, women and men that I really find them amazing people. I need one Muslim mother to come and tell me this is a normal behavior of a mom. Forget about husband and wife, but even a mother who didn't say one word about her other 2 children. Second, what is she scared of from us? When was the last time any Christian, regardless of his education, ranking, level of knowledge or anything, have hurt anyone? I mean, we have been hurt back and forth for generations, and yet there isn't one Christian who hurt. So she has been Christian all her life. All of a sudden, now she is scared and asking the CIA of Egypt to protect her from who exactly? So I wonder, Sayyidina, if those 2 also elements added to your 5 amazing points really put the investigative reporting in Egypt and those who are moderate, fair, even good moms and dads to say, this is not fair. You guys need to get her to see her husband, her children, and her parents.
Or beside, I will ask your question a different way. If she was planning to go and to become Muslim, why she didn't take her 2 sons with a little daughter, and then save all of them, save all her children?
Brothers, right? Yeah.
Because what I heard and I read in the news, she was taking her little daughter to do vaccination for her.
Correct.
Yeah, I imagine if I am a mother and have 3 children and I'm planning to convert to another religion, I will take all my children with me.
Absolutely.
And just run away.
To save them, if that's what is the word.
If what she believes,
Right.
So why she didn't take this? Yeah, thank you for bringing this point.
And why did she baptize her daughter? I mean, she just, we see the picture, the daughter is not even a couple of months old. There is no way all of a sudden I slept and woke up, now I believe in a different religion. I mean, baptism is the major door in our religion. So why she didn't denounce and told her husband, I'm not baptizing my daughter?
Let me assume because she wants to hide her intention to be Muslim. But when did she study Islam?
Right.
That's one question. And the other question, why she is happy on the day of baptism and she is not happy in this video? Yeah, I think any fair person can see how her face is totally different before and after. Is this a face of a person sad? No, she's joyful, she's happy. But look at the video, it's totally different. Totally different.
Sayyidina,
I want people to respect our intelligence, because they are undermining our intelligence.
Yeah.
And we are not prejudiced. As I said in the beginning, the Lord Jesus Christ, when Samaria rejected him, he said, no, let's go to another city.
Correct. And Sayyidina, with all respect to her, if that's what her wish is, she does not make us less. And if that's her wish, does not make Muslims more. Well, I mean, it's not like she's like, with all respect, like a priest or a bishop or something. I mean, a regular layman person who living her life as a mom, educating and taking care of her children, making their food before she left, taking care of her child of vaccination. So I'm hoping, Sayyidina, with your voice here, that really reach out, not just to the authorities, but really the normal, moderate, reasonable, rational Muslims who never would accept that to happen to a mom, let alone a sister of theirs. If the religion she is accepting and she's happy with it, well and good. But she needs to go and face her parents and her husband and tell them why she's doing what she's doing, and we have to talk about the child. On the same token, Sayyidina, I wish your grace can lead us all in the coming week, which is an amazing week, to pray for this family. And if you can tell us a practical reason, how can we help them in any way?
I think, as you mentioned, Dr. Hani, number one, all of us will need to pray.
Yes.
To pray for the truth to be revealed, for God to protect her, and for the authorities to take the right steps in investigating this case, and for the most of the moderate Egyptian, from Muslim and Christian, to raise their voice and to say, if she was forced to say this is wrong, we will not accept this among us in the Egyptian society. We are against this. We are against forcing people to convert. We are against this. So that's actually the content of our prayer. Number two, actually, I think my questions and more other questions should be raised in a respectful way to the authorities, asking a fair investigation about this case. Yes, we are angry, but as the Bible told us, be angry and do not sin.
Yes.
So we are angry, but we will not sin.
Yes.
But we have to we have to express our anger in the right way and in the right channels.
And as Grace have put, you have legitimate questions and rational things that need to be addressed. I mean, if we are convinced with the answers to the 5 or 7 points that your Grace had made, fine. But we need those answers. We cannot just shove in our face a little video of 1 minute that looks completely, she's being suppressed and coerced to say what she's saying. She's probably, even her child is crying on the background. I'm sure she would say anything. If they tell her to denounce any faith, she was denounced when she sees her 3-4-month-old child is screaming in the background.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I trust again, I have to admit again and again and again.
Yes.
We saw in the last 8 years,
right,
big difference. When the martyrs of Libya were killed, President Sisi, next day, right, he made an attack on these people. Maybe for the first time after the martyrdom of Abu Sam'an, the terrorist was executed.
Yes.
So we see a lot of change, and I trust that my voice will reach President Sisi and all the authorities regarding this family and regarding the case of Amuna Arsanios. And I trust the law and in Egypt will do the right investigation, and if she was forced, she should return to her husband, to her parents, to her children, to her family, to her church.
Yes, yes. Sayyidina, before we end this amazing event, there is a question came to your grace from the family of Mariam Waheeb, actually. Some of them are apparently listening, and they are asking, how should we react as a family to face this disaster?
First, my prayer with them, may the Lord actually support and strengthen them during this difficult time. Definitely, it's not an easy time for the family. And let us promise this family that all of us will continue in prayer until God reveals the truth. Yes. And I think the reaction should be balanced between asking for our rights and demanding our rights through the right channels in the government and in the authorities, while actually submitting to the will of God and praying for God's justice, to be revealed.
Yes.
So I think if they can hire a lawyer, if they have to demand for their rights. Nothing wrong to ask for our rights. So they have actually to go to the legal channels in order to have a fair investigation about this case.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I just said 7 questions, but I'm sure many people have more logical and rational question about the same scenario.
Right.
And we need actually answers from the authorities. Again, I'm repeating again, we need answers from the authorities about these questions. Why I'm saying the authorities, I'm not blaming them, but that is the role of the authority. When I am oppressed, to whom should I go?
Yeah.
I go to God and to the authority.
Correct.
Because the authority is in charge to protect me and to protect my rights.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying the authorities. I'm not accusing or blaming anybody. They are not doing their job, but actually I'm demanding from them to protect an Egyptian family who feels oppressed and who feels that what happened to their daughter or spouse was very, very unfair if she was forced to change her religion.
Yes. Thank you, Sayyidina, very much. And I really appreciate your sincerity, your frankness, your compassion, and you are one of our senior bishops who's speaking as a voice of the church. So the people should feel very comforted that the church is not weak and the church is not hiding, and the church up to her leaders are saying that exactly our Christ said during his trials on Holy Eve of Friday, why are you hitting me? So we are saying the same thing. Why are you doing this? Just tell us. And if, as Sayyidina repeated the word if so many times, if she is convinced, peace be with her, she can do whatever she likes. But if she is coerced or pressed or pushed or threatened, it's our right as Egyptians, whether in Egypt or anywhere else, to know the truth, to have answers to every question that Sayyidina and others have made and raised. I'm aware that her husband reached out to the police and the CIA of Egypt, and he put a missing person report, and he did whatever he did. But we are raising our voices through the voice of His Grace Bishop Youssef. We are asking everyone in Egypt, Muslims before Christians, please support this family. Everyone can happen to him this way. And we want your support before the authorities. And we need and ask President Sisi, who we love him so much and we respect him to a lot of extent. This man is God sent, and we all as Egyptians, not just Copts, we feel Egypt has changed dramatically. I know this is just a sporadic things that happen, but we ask you, Honorable, excellent President Sisi, to please step in and please return this woman. At least we need to know exactly what happened. Sayyidina, I need a promise from your grace that we meet one more time, hopefully in the Holy 50. Hopefully at that time we hear better news. But regardless, we would love to have you again. We have a lot of theological questions we need your opinion in.
Thank you, Dr. Hani. I am honored to be in your show.
Thank you. Thank you, Sayyidina. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this session with His Grace Bishop Youssef. Please do not cease to pray all the time for what you heard today. May God bless you all. Thank you, Sayyidina.